to our channel. If you are new here, hi, hello love. I am so happy to meet you. My name is Kat and we talk all things here around becoming the best version of you. So we do tons of videos around health and hair health because physical confidence often helps with the mental, but we also will be doing videos around personal development, productivity, and just really helpful habits for you to become the boss and baddie that you are. So if those things are interests of yours, please subscribe, like this video, and hop on in on this wonderful community because we would be so happy and honored to have you. So what are we talking about today? Today is going to be a hair video where we talk about some tips I see people making when they have a protective style in. So I figured since I am on my little protective style challenge right now, what better time for me to do a protective style video? So you can go back and look at previous videos of your girl. I have too much hair and I can tell y'all what has worked for me, but right now my hair is tucked away, giving it a little bit of a break. But I wanted to talk on this because I see a lot of people using protective styles and wanting to use protective styles as a way to grow and retain length, which is a great thing to do. It makes total sense. But a lot of these protective styles are becoming, you know, snatch your edges style or why is my hair breaking off styles because we're not doing the right things to maintain them while we have them in. And so I wanted to do this video. Hopefully it'll be helpful for y'all because protective styles, in my opinion, are a fantastic way to retain length, but we're just not doing the right thing. So let me help you out. I have my tips here. If you see me looking down, that is all I'm looking at, but I am super excited to share with y'all these handful of things that have worked beautifully for me and have helped me tremendously in my natural hair journey, all right? So tip number one is just the length of time you're actually leaving your protective style in. And this is one thing that I really wanna talk about because there's a very fine line, almost like a threshold, where you want to leave your protective style in for long enough so that you are giving your hair a proper break. You're able to grow your hair out. We know that your hair grows half an inch a month, so you want to be leaving it in for at least a month, right? But you don't want to be leaving it in for too long to the point where you're getting breakage, dry hair, your hair is matting up, your scalp is getting infected and has fungus, and that's where we get into the too long of a territory, all right? So I always say that a good sweet spot is at least 4 to 5 weeks. I would probably say 5 weeks if you can get there, but definitely no more than 8 weeks, okay? So at least a month, no more than 2 months. Anything longer, y'all, it's just too much, okay? I know that your style could probably look good after 3 months still, even after 2.5 months, but your hair needs cleansing, your scalp needs to breathe, and so just do yourself a favor and save yourself a ton of headache by taking out your protective style after 2 months. Y'all, I've been seeing on like Instagram, people taking out weaves after 3 months, 6 months, or a year. And I know that a lot of times in those cases, there's mental health around it, but please do not do that to yourself. Your hair is your crown. It needs to come out after a certain point. You need to take that hair out and give your hair a breather and some cleansing, all right? So that is tip number one. And the reason is after too long of a time leaving your protective style in, you oftentimes are reversing all the good benefits that you've got, right? All the length that you grew out and the retention and the low manipulation. Now you've ruined all of that by having to comb out matted hair, by having to deal with breakage and dry and brittle hair. So just don't do that to yourself. No more than 2 months, all right? My tip number two is on moisturizing your hair while you have your protective style in. This is another biggie. I think a lot of times we want to put our protective style in because we need a break, okay? We just need our hair to be out of our way so we don't have to deal with it. Totally fair, okay? Take like a day after you put your protective style in of like not doing anything and then get back on your regimen of still taking care of your hair while you have your protective style in. Because what you do, oftentimes we think that the breakage that happens is during the takedown, and I'll talk about the takedown later, but what you do during your protective style is critical, like crucial, honey, to how your protective style comes out and your results at the end, okay? A lot of people just think that you can put it in and it will grow out. No. You need to be doing things to support that and create the right environment. So what does that look like, okay? So your girl has had these in for almost 6 weeks now. I'm gonna try to go another week. And for me, what that looks like is oiling my scalp on a, to be honest, every other day basis, but I would say at least a weekly basis if you can. And more importantly, also keeping my hair hydrated. So what does that mean exactly? Let me show y'all. Well, your girl takes a spray bottle, a glass spray bottle, because I don't like plastic, but I take a spray bottle with alkaline filtered water. Please filter your water. I also mix in some aloe vera juice, and then I add in a ton of nourishing oils like black castor oil, almond oil, grapeseed oil, and any kind of essential oils that I like. I especially love peppermint and tea tree because they help with bacteria and promoting a healthy, antibacterial environment. So I add those into my spray bottle, and I literally will spray down my scalp and my hair, the length of my hair, wherever my natural hair is. So I'll literally spray, because your hair needs hydration too, okay? A lot of times we only think about our scalp, or we forget about our scalp, we don't do nothing. But when people do things with their braids in, they're only thinking about their scalp, but you need to actually be hydrating your whole hair, which is why I love to add oils as well as water to help with that hydration. And you should also spray this on your scalp because it actually helps the oil absorb better. So after you've sprayed down and misted your hair, then you can go in with your oils. You get a little applicator bottle like so, and you really get in there and start hydrating, honey, oiling up that scalp and massage your scalp really well because you deserve it, honey. So you can do that if you have box braids in. These are crochet braids. You can do that with weaves. Most weaves, you can kind of get in there some version of a way. And it is just a really important way to make sure that you're protecting your scalp and your hair, and you're not letting your hair get too dry while you have in your protective style. I know that sometimes if you have on like a wig cap, you really can't get under there, so I really try not to do those if you can. I totally understand why you'd want to if you are suffering from alopecia or other things and just don't want to put the track on your actual hair, but you need to be doing a protective style that helps you get to your scalp so that you can properly oil it and hydrate it as it needs to be, okay? And again, you need to be doing this several times a week, okay? At least, I would say at least 2, but I do mine like 3-4 times, okay? So to really keep my hair hydrated. That is my second tip, and it is so critical to not having dry, brittle hair at the end of your protective style. Okay, tip number 3, let me see, is around blending your hair properly with your weave. And this is specifically for my weave ladies, I should have said. So if you are someone who puts a weave in your hair, totally fine, no biggie at all. But I would encourage you to, if you're someone who typically does the bone straight look, your girl's gonna encourage you, honey, to try to do a weave that's a more, it doesn't have to be exactly natural, like kinky coily, kente kunte. It doesn't have to be like my hair, but using a curl pattern of a weave that is more of a curly curl pattern. The reason is because I want to encourage you to try to do leave out, especially around your perimeter. So if you're someone who's having perimeter issues, which a lot of women who wear weaves do, if I just can be honest, I've seen it a lot, it really comes down to the too much tension on your perimeter, even on the back of your perimeter of your hair. And so if you can avoid having to braid down the front of your hairline, you will do your hair tremendous blessing, I promise you. And so the only way to really avoid having to braid that down is to actually keep your hair out. And the best way to not have to put heat or straighten your hair to make your hair blend with the weave is to use a natural hair pattern, right? So even me, I don't have type 3 hair, I have type 4, type 4A, type 4B hair, but when I do a twist out or even a braid out or use certain products, as people ask me all the time, your hair has so many different textures, right? I can get my hair to look blendable and look fine with type 3 hair. Like, obviously it doesn't look exactly, but I can make my hair match to a point where if I was wearing a weave, it would blend, okay? And that's what you wanna do. You wanna wear a weave. I know I have girlfriends who do it. My girlfriend, she wears a partial weave and most of her front hair is out and it blends beautifully, like beautifully. And her hair is full and luscious. Yes, she's doing her hair herself, so she knows hair better than most of us, better than I do, but she also is using hair that is natural and blends with her natural curl pattern. And that really matters if you're trying to leave your edges protected and not have to put your edges in the weave. And that's why I love when people do partials with natural hair, because it blends perfectly and protects your hair, okay? So that is my third tip. And again, if you're someone who's so used to wearing bone straight hair, it might feel uncomfortable, but I encourage you girls to just try something new and you'll see the difference in your hairline. Like, I know it's like, I like weaves because I like the straight look. I get it, trust me. I get why people, like I said, I would love a good blowout. I haven't seen my hair blown out in like, what, 6 years now? It's been a really long time. Even since before I went natural. I went natural 4.5 years ago, but even before that, I was not really blowing my hair out. But trust me, try something new and you'll see the results in your edges if you give your hair a little bit of a break, okay? So my next tip is actually about the protective style that you are doing. So this one I wanted to put in because it just needs to be said, y'all. Not all protective styles work the same, okay? Some people will get really great protective styles and get really great results from a protective style, and then it won't work for someone else. So I really just want to call out the fact that like, they're not all made the same, and some are really better than others, okay? So if you were to ask me, Kat, what protective style would you recommend in terms of like my preference, I would say crochet, crochet, crochet. Like, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Like, in my personal opinion, crochet is the best protective style for you if you're trying to retain length and actually see your hair growth, okay? And I'll share why in a second, but it is hands down the best, okay? If you're not on the protective style train, you need to be getting on it, okay? And I'll say it's the best unless you're someone who knows how to install weaves or knows how to professionally install box braids, then yes. If you're doing those, you probably know your hair really well and know what it can take, know the proper ratios, etc. But if you're not someone who's a stylist that does their own hair, or just, you don't have to be a professional stylist, but if you're someone who like struggles and has to go to people always to get their hair done, then you need to be asking people to do crochet on your hair. It is hands down the gentlest protective style. It is so light. It doesn't require any type of needle or thread. Y'all, that needle, when you put it in a weave, it is the best protective style, hands down, for your hair. I find, anyone who knows me knows that I think that weaves are very inconsistent protective styles, okay? I wouldn't say that they're awful, it's just that they're not predictable, they're not reliable. Sometimes you'll get great growth, sometimes you'll have setbacks, and it's that type of oscillation between, okay, improving, setting back, improvement, setback, improvement, setback. That's where you're not actually able to see growth, because you're constantly you go 2 steps forward and then you go a step back, and then 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. And it's just like, you can't even get it right because you're not seeing consistent results. But with crochet braids, you will definitely start to see consistent results with your hair. They're light, they're fun, and you can do so many different types of crochet. That's the cool part about them. So I'll put some photos in for y'all to see, but I've done crochet with straight hair. I have these crochet braids in right now, which are 2-strand twists, crochet with box braids, with curly loose hair, with marley hair. I've done everything, honey, with crochet. And I'm telling you, if you're someone who wants to grow their hair out and wants that versatility, crochet is perfect. Like, yes, you kind of do see the parts a little bit, but those can be blended out really easily. Again, with the same method I was talking about leaving out your perimeter around your weaves, you can do the same thing with your crochet. If you want to wear loose, wavy crochet hair and you don't want to be able to see these parts, you know, these are braids, so you're gonna see parts. But if you want to have loose hair, just leave your perimeter out and then blend it. Done, perfect. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, there's also knotless parts. Like, there are so many technicians you can look up to learn, and I have found that crochet are just a fantastic way to grow your hair. So that is tip number 4, actually focusing on the style that you're using and being mindful of the style that you're using. I'm not gonna say you can't grow your hair out with box braids, but just be mindful of them. The other tip I would say if you're using box braids is to decrease, especially around your perimeter, the number of braids you have. So I actually counted for you all because I wanted to see how many braids I had on my perimeter. I only have 10 braids around the front of my face. So only 10 braids. And the reason is, when you do bigger braids and fewer of them, it's less tension on your hair, okay? When you have all these teeny little braids, you're putting all that tension on like a strand of hair. That's too much tension. Ask your technician, the woman who's doing your hair, to the hairstylist to make your parts bigger. Look how big my parts are, because I want my hair to be in a place of rest and actually be protected, not being strained and putting all this tension on it, okay? So that's a little tip. And if you're someone who's adamant about having weaves and just feels like, no girl, weaves are the way to go, I don't want anything else but a weave, that's totally fine. Talk to your stylist about the actual braid pattern that you're doing. A lot of stylists now are doing like different types of braid patterns because they know that if you're switching up the braiding pattern, it's less repeated tension on the same part of your hair. So that's really important, right? If you're someone who's trying to grow your hair out, talk to your stylist about that. Let her know, I love weaves, but I've had issues in the past. What can we do? And more likely than not, she can change the braiding pattern. She can switch it up. Y'all can figure out things to do other than the typical braiding back, which causes a lot of tension on your hair. So that is my 4th tip. And the 5th tip I'm going to talk about is around the actual takedown of your style, okay? So it's been a few months, or hopefully not a few months, a few weeks, and you've had your style in and you're ready to take it out. A couple things I would say. First of all is I really think that we, as people who have, our hair on our head, will be the most gentle and kindest to our hair. So if you're someone who's like, lets a million people take their hair out down when it's time to take it out, don't do that. Like, make it a little bit of you time, make it a movie night, just relax, get some movie, get a pizza, whatever it is, and make it a fun thing. Like, I'm gonna take these braids out in a week by myself, and I'm gonna make it a little movie night for Kat. And the reason is that only you and your stylist, hopefully but only you and your stylist really know the method that was used to put the actual braid or weave, whatever it is, in your hair. Like, y'all, you know it best. And so my hair is actually in this braid. So if someone was just to snip it off, they'd be snipping off my hair. Like, I know the actual way to take it down, the proper way to take it down, and that's really important. So step number 1 of a good takedown is just making the space and the time for you to do it by yourself properly, as long as it needs to be. Don't schedule anything around it. For most takedowns, I say give yourself a good 8 hours to properly take down, wash your hair, and like chill for a second, okay? So that's step 1. Make sure you make the space for it. Step 2 is actually when it comes down to the takedown, make sure you're putting, like I said, some sort of oil, right, on your actual hair, all right? So don't just hop on in there, okay, it's time to take it down. Put some oil on your hands, rub your hands together, and then take that oil, right, and put it on your actual hair to make sure that your hair is now primed and ready to be manipulated. Like I was saying before, it's been probably out and away for, 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, 8 weeks, and now your hair is about to be manipulated. You need to give it some moisture before you do that. So moisturize your hair, even with your protective towel in it, and then go in and start the process. And then once all the hair is out, the weave is out, you've cut it out, whatever it is, then go in again and re-oil your hair, because guess what? Before you just hop in that shower or put that comb through your hair, you need to really moisturize your hair again. So after you've taken out the hair and it's in your, it's in the cornrows still, or it's in the braids, or whatever it's in, I don't know, whatever your style is that it's in, then go in and start using oil to slowly fingers only, detangle your hair while it's still in the dry state, okay? Now, once your hair is loose and out and done, you can chill for a second and just relax. Some people like to take their braids out and then go out and about. I sometimes wear my taken down protective style as a style, because it kind of looks like your hair is like a big afro and it's cute and curly, whatever it is. Let your hair chill for a second, and then when it's time for you to get in the shower, I actually want you to first condition, you heard that correctly, condition your hair first before you just shampoo. A lot of people go in there after their protective style is taken out and their hair is itchy, their scalp's on fire, and I totally get it. You just want to clean your scalp. So now you're about to add shampoo. I don't care how natural and nourishing your shampoo is, there is some natural stripping agent that needs to be there to make your hair clean, right? It's a natural part of shampoo. So before you just go in there, I want you to condition your hair, soften it up, hydrate it, and then you can go in with your shampoo to really start cleaning your hair. And you can shampoo twice. After you've conditioned, now you can go in and shampoo twice, and then of course follow back up with deep conditioner because your hair has been away for some time, and then go in with your normal routine as normal. But I hope that helps. Like, that to me has been critical. A lot of times people don't really spend time on reintroducing their hair back to the world, if you will, after your hair has been hidden away for some time, and you really need to be judicious and graceful in how you're reintroducing your hair back to its normal routine. Like, my hair hasn't been washed with shampoo in 6 weeks. So I'm not just gonna go in there hot with shampoo. I'm gonna make sure it's moisturized and it feels comfortable and cozy, and it knows that it's, you know, it knows what's happening. Those are my tips. I hope that helps y'all. You know, your girl will be taking out her braids now in, gosh, hopefully a week. And I really will say, I feel really comfortable about the state of my hair. I can just even like see and feel, my hair is like oily because I've just been keeping it so moisturized and hydrated and spraying it every day. And so I'm really excited to see where my hair is at the outcome of my takedown, and I will be filming that as well. So y'all can tell me when we get to our next video if my tips worked, because you'll see my hair is hydrated and healthy and it's ready for the takedown, and it won't be dry and brittle. So as always, thank you so much y'all for coming by and being a part of this incredible community. If you have any questions or concerns or just want to chat to your girl, drop a note below. I would love to see if this is helpful or what other videos you would like to see. But I love you all, and I'm so happy to have you here, and take care. Bye. Okay, so it is about a good hour and a half later, and oh my lordy, my hair, my front perimeter is finally all out. So like I had said, she had done 2 rows of individual crochets in the front, and we still have all of this hair to take out, but y'all, oh child,